Hello, hello, hello. We have new digs. So we're at Everybody Los Angeles today, this evening. Whatever's going on in the world right now, whether it's day or night, who knows? So huge thanks to Folklore Salon for hosting us for like 3 months, but they're finally open. And so now we have shifted over here to Everybody. Anybody who's watching who hasn't been to the facility yet, this is the Rise Heal Studio. This is where most of the like yoga-based and meditation classes happen. So we're going to utilize this room because I can close the door, which means I don't have to wear the mask. But so, in the spirit of the time, we're pivoting, we're moving. I haven't used this Wi-Fi connection for this yet. So any feedback, you can throw it in the comments or you can shoot me a message so that can work on making it better if we have to. So my name's Elliot. I'm the founder of this project. I'm a personal trainer here in Los Angeles, and I do base my practice out of this facility, Everybody Los Angeles, and a huge thanks to them for being a continuous support for this effort. And they've been offering up their space for us to practice out of for years, since the beginning of the project. So we're deeply grateful to them. We would not be able to do this without them. So today we are going to do a full body circuit. So there are actually 10 movements in today's circuit. So it's more movements than we typically do, but we're going to be doing them for a shorter period of time. So this is like a real quick and nasty circuit. We're going to be doing each movement for 30 seconds, and then we will do the whole thing 4 times. So once we get through the joint preparation and mobility work, and we'll teach you the movements and do a set of each. That's going to be the warm up, and then we will move through the entire circuit 4 times. So that portion of the workout of doing the circuit 4 times is about 28 minutes and 20 seconds, and that's with some rest factored in. So we're going to have just 5 seconds in between movements. That's there just for us to transition, and then 1 full minute of rest once we've completed the whole circuit once. So if anyone who's watching this live has any questions, has anything they want to make me aware of, please use the chat box. I hope the chat box is over on this side. I don't know. Maybe it's over here. Anyway, you know where it is. Use the chat box to get my attention. I will be looking over at it periodically. And like I always say, please go at your own pace and just honor where you are today. Don't worry about what I'm doing and how fast I'm doing it. I'm going to give you different variations for each exercise. Stop whenever you need to stop. If you need to take some rest and take some water. I'm a thirsty human, so you'll see me stopping to drink water frequently. So, all right. If no one has any questions, we'll go ahead and get started. I love hearing from people in the chat box, so if you feel so inclined, please use it. It only shows me how many people are in here. It doesn't tell me who you are. So I love knowing who you are and where you're coming from. Let's get up and start getting ready for this. So I appreciate everyone bearing with me as I learn new computer positionings and camera angles since we're in a new space. It's always a challenge to get it exactly right. So, all right, let's start with standing joint mobility. So we're going to start by getting up on our feet, and we're going to start at the top of our body and then work our way down so that we can get each of our joints lubricated and ready for work. I'm practicing with no shoes on, but you can wear shoes if you'd like, and I have a mat here, and however you're comfortable. No rules here. So let's start in the shoulders. We're going to start with both shoulders going at the same time, rolling. So you're going to shrug them up, squeeze them together, and then slide them down. I want you to go ahead and start to bring some awareness to your abdominals, so brace them. And when I say brace, I mean that sensation of when you exhale really strongly and your abdominals get tight. That's the bracing sensation. Let's change direction, squeeze them together at the bottom, and then roll them forward at the top. And once again, bracing the belly. We're going to get a few more here, and then we're going to isolate the shoulders and do them one at a time. So now let's do one forward and then the other. And if you'd like to, you can do the opposite shoulder going in the opposite direction. So while my left shoulder is rolling up and forward, I'm sliding my bottom shoulder back and then up and change directions. And pick whatever pace feels good for you. Just bring your arms up, and it's like I've got my hands positioned like I'm holding a couple of little flags, thumbs on top here, and we're going to make small circles going backwards to start. Now these are nice and tight. I'm only making them as big as I can keep my arms fully extended. So if you find that you're breaking at the elbow, maybe you're trying to hold it tighter than to your head than you have the shoulder mobility for, and you can just bring your arms out a little bit. That's totally fine too. It doesn't have to look exactly like me. And we're going to go the other way now, so this way. And I encourage you, when you find that spot in these circles where it feels a little more challenging, put your exhale there. And it tends to be as the biceps are intersecting the ears. There you go, good. And swinging, breaking at the elbow. So you can see that this little bend happening, and I'm alternating which arm is on top and then bottom. If you feel like your shoulders are starting to shrug up towards your ears, just press them down and strive to keep the wrists lined up with the shoulders. Good, nice work. Let's roll your head, loosen up any tension we might have built up in the neck while we had our arms up above our head or in our upper traps. And these circles should be very intentional, relatively slow, and just pick the range of motion where you can keep a nice smoothness. And other way, the standing joint mobility is my favorite part. I love it. Let's bring your hands to your hips, and we're going to draw circles. So I'll show you a side view here, and I'll give you the front view as well. And I'm pushing my hips all around the room. It's like you're drawing circles on the ground with your tail going from the front. Looks like this. Movements like this, I think a lot of us are grateful that we're probably doing this in our living room and other way around. All the way around. Nice, working in a lateral leg swing. Getting the hips ready for the work, because we're going to hit pretty every joint in the body tonight. And switch sides, and only swing as high as you can maintain your stability. So if you find that you're kind of falling over, then maybe just bring your swings a little bit smaller. And let's step it wide, slightly toed out. So toed forward, toed out. Okay, so turn your toes slightly out. And slowly drop your hips down until you're in the bottom of your deep squat, whatever that may be. For some folks, it'll be all the way down here. For some of you, it may be here. Just pick wherever it is for you where you can keep your torso upright. Bring your fingers underneath your toes, and we're going to lift the hips and look behind you. So we're coming into a forward fold, straightening your legs out as much as you can, and then drop your hips down and pick your chest up for the deep squat. I'll show you this from the side. I'm standing on my fingertips, lifting my hips, looking behind me, dropping my hips, picking up my chest, gaze forward. And the whole time I'm striving to keep my shoulder blades pulled together and my spine nice and neutral. Let's go 2 more. 1. And 2. Very nice. Let's get foot rolls. I'm just going to pick my foot up so you can see it. You don't have to pick it up this high. Just get it as far off the ground as you need to. This is a good time to connect with your stability, balancing on one foot and the other way. Connect with your stability, they said, as they slowly teetered sideways and towards the ground. Let's switch feet. Snap, crackle, pop. That's my ankles for you. And other way. Good work, y'all. You got this. All right, let's do a couple of movements down on the ground. You're gonna come to hands and knees and extend your right foot out. Now, keeping my foot flexed, I'm on the inside edge of my feet, my foot. So right in here. Step your hand aside, it looks like this. Exhale and exhale. Coming back to the front view for you so you can see in my foot. That foot staying flexed. Just getting the hips nice and warm and juicy. 2 more. 1 and 2. Let's switch sides. Bring that one in. Extend to the other one. For me, that's the left. Bring those hands forward just a little and press forward into the hips and rock it back. Forward and back. Good. This one feels really nice on the adductor. The adductor is the inside of the thigh. And 2 more. 1 and 2. All right. Hopefully everyone's feeling a little bit warmer, a little bit looser, ready to learn our movements. So learning these movements is going to be our warm-up. So you will be able to get a chance to do a set of each one. So you can connect with the movement and also learn what the cues are. And as I said earlier, if anything comes up for you at any point, please just hop into the chat box there and I will get right at you. Someday I'll have the perfect angle where you'll be able to see my head and my feet and I won't be super tiny. Okay, so our first movement is a wide stance squat. We sort of prepped for this already in that initial standing joint mobility. You're gonna step wider than hips width apart, approximately shoulders width apart, but this is gonna be different for everyone. You're gonna toe out a little bit. Now, we're not toed out like we're doing a plie, but we're also not toes forward. We're somewhere in between the two. And we're gonna keep the chest upright. We're gonna work through this wide stance squat. And we're really focusing on finding our glutes. So go ahead and move through these and play around with them. I'm gonna give you a side view. I invite you to reach your hips back first and then settle your hips down into the squat. Once you get to the bottom, squeeze your butt cheeks to drive your pelvis up and forward. Let's do a set of 12 of these. Try and match my pace. If my pace is too fast, just go at your own pace. It's totally fine. We're gonna inhale on the way down and 1, 2, pretend like you're trying to rip the ground apart with your feet so they're pressing really dynamically in opposite directions of each other. And 6, 7, tight belly, reach with the hips first. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. We're going to go from that directly into a narrow stance squat. This is going to put the focus in the quads or the tops of your thighs. So we're standing with our feet narrow, hips width measuring from the front of your pelvis, toes are forward. And it's totally normal if this squat's not as deep as that wide stance squat. So same thing, we're going to reach the hips back and squeeze your butt to come up. So you'll notice that this pushes the weight of your booty much further back. So it might be more challenging for you to go lower, but don't worry, just go as low as you can. And it's okay if your knees go forward a little bit. We want to get quad dominant here, but if you feel any discomfort in your knees, then just think about pulling them back a little bit further and putting more of your weight in the back of your body. So let's try 12 of these. We're going to inhale on the way down, and 1. Exhale, 2. We're still trying to rip the ground apart with our feet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Squeeze your belly. 9, 10. 2 more. You should be feeling pretty warm in the tops of your thighs. And 12. All right. So that's our narrow stance squat. Next is a push-up. You can do whatever variation of a push-up is appropriate for you. I did a lot of pressing the other day, so I will likely do a knee variation. I'm going to show you that variation now. For these push-ups, we're going to start down on the ground. You're going to pick your hands up, and then you're going to exhale and push. Lower down slow. Pick up your hands and push. And lower down slow. Now, if you're doing a full push-up, you're going to start on the ground. Pick up your hands. Press up your whole body. Lower down slow. Pick up your hands. Good. All right. There's other variations here. You can lower down, full body, drop your knees to press. Okay. This is a really great way to build up your push-up. Or you can do them on the wall as well. So if you need to take more body weight out, you can just do a plank on your wall or on a piece of furniture, and you can press in here. Now, of course, if you're doing this on the wall, you're not going to be able to come all the way down and pick up your hands. Let's work through, let's just do 8 of these, whatever variation you're doing. So I'm coming down to the ground, picking up my feet, hands, press 1, down slow. Exhale, press 2. Get up. 3, 4, 5. Along the back of my neck. 6. 2 more. 7. And 8. Nice work. After our push-up, we're going to do a scapular press. So your scapula are your shoulder blades. And in a scapular press, you're in position for a push-up, and it looks like a push-up, but it looks like a little tiny baby push-up because the elbows never bend. So if you were holding a ball out in front of you, and you were to squeeze your shoulder blades together and then round them, that would be your scapular press. Now, if doing the scapular press is too challenging, you can always just do hands and knees and just work through here. You could do it with your knees lifted off the ground for a little more weight. You can do it in a plank. So right in here, we're squeezing the shoulder blades and rounding. So let's work through 10 of these just to see what they feel like. And try and keep the shoulders stacked over the wrist. You're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together and release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're trying to squeeze the lower ridge of the scapula. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. That's really going to strengthen your back. You can also, like I said, do those on the wall, do them on a piece of furniture. It doesn't have to be on the ground. Take whatever feels accessible for you. After your scapular press, we're going to do some kicks. So the kick is just one movement, but we're splitting it between sides. So for this side kick, I'm going to show it to you from the side, and then I will turn from the front, and I'll turn to the side. We're going to pick up our foot, and then we're leaning, okay? Our torso is leaning, and we're getting ready. We're setting this guy up, and we're going to extend the leg like we're trying to punch someone with our heel. Now you can extend your other arm here if you'd like, or you can keep it here, retract it, and down. So this can be as fast and dynamic as you want. So you can be in here, okay? Or maybe you're just working on slowly bringing it out and then retracting it back. So if you were to look at this from the side, here, boom. Punching with the heel, bringing it back. All right? So let's work through 8 of those on each side, just to get some practice, get plenty of practice in the workout as well. We're gonna extend, and 1, 2, exhale helps, 3, keep your toes pointed towards the front of the room, 6, 7, 8, and we're gonna come other side, 1, 2, look where you're punching, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now that one's going to be challenging if your adductors, the inside of your thighs are tight. So if you need to stretch those, that's totally cool. After your kicks, we're gonna do what I call a PPP. So it's plank to pike to press, and this is for your shoulders. So this is gonna be a great way to work your shoulders if you don't have a piece of equipment to press. So you're gonna plank, and then you're gonna lift your hips to pike, and then from here, you're gonna bend your elbows up and turn to touch the crown of your head to the mat, and then walk it back to a plank, right back into a pike, and press, and back. It's totally okay if maybe you're here, and then you're working through just practicing here to get the shoulders strengthened up. This is okay too. You can also work through the presses on the wall. All right, so let's try 6 of these. We're gonna start in plank. Lift your hips to pike and press. Rock it forward. That's 1. Breathe. 2. 3. 4. If you have a lifestyle where you don't really lift your head above your head, this shoulder work can be very challenging. 1 more. And that's okay. We're just working on building little by little. So just do what you can and know that you'll continue to get stronger. So that's your PPP. We're going to come into the calves next, and we're doing a plyometric calf work. So plyometric just means dynamic, where we're jumping. So if jumping isn't great for your body, don't worry. I'm going to give you a non-jumping variation. So this is just going to be a little baby squat. So I'm just barely pushing my hips back, and then I'm firing off of my lower leg. So right here, I'm trying to jump directly up, pointing my toe as I come up. Now this is gonna get really intense. If you can't jump, then you can just work through lifting your heels off of the ground, all right? Or maybe you can jump, but you can't jump as high, so you're in here. All of this is okay. Let's work through 10 of whichever one that you're gonna be at. Tiny little in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, these are gonna get spicy, y'all. Our last ones are arms, biceps and triceps. So for the bicep, I wanna make sure I send out mad props to Monk Rodriguez of Monkey Fit, because when he taught me this, it just blew my mind. So this is how you're gonna work your biceps. If you don't have any weights or you don't have access to anything heavy, you're gonna use your leg. So you're gonna bring your leg up, and you're gonna be doing a stretch here, and come a little closer so that everyone can see. And I'm holding it and I'm cradling it right here. Now this is my left foot. It's gonna be mostly working my right bicep. And I'm gonna curl and curl. So from the side, it's the resistance of my leg that's giving me work in my bicep. And extending nice and slow here. Try to stay upright. If you have super stiff hips, there's gonna be a lot more resistance. I have pretty stiff hips, so as you can see, my leg isn't coming all the way up. And that's totally fine. We're just getting really nice contraction in the bicep here. And then for the other bicep, we bring up. So left arm would be with our right leg. So let's go 10 on each side. We're gonna 1, 2, and keeping my chest really open. 3, 4. Elbow stays nice and tight to the side of my body. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides. Turn this way so that you can see. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, tight elbow, 9, and 10. All right, it's getting nice and warm. Next is triceps. So triceps, I know what I forgot to put on the list. I forgot to put on the list your core work. That means we're going to do extra core work next week. I knew I was forgetting something. So triceps, you're going to plank on a wall. Now, I do these on the wall because my triceps aren't strong enough to do them well on the ground. From here, you're going to keep your elbows in tight. You're standing on the mat, so don't slip backwards. That would be embarrassing. So these tight elbows is what's going to keep this work in your triceps. Now, if it's too challenging, you just step up closer to your wall. Stay on your toes here, because that's your pivot point, and work through forearms and then up to hands. So that's going to be triceps. Let's try 8 of these. Drop the elbows and press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, that's all of your movements. Hopefully you're feeling nice and ready to move and groove in there. So everything will be 30 seconds. On the bicep curl, it's going to be 30 seconds on each side. Who's ready to get started? I am. I got a timer set here. Like I said, there's 5 seconds in between movements. That's just for us to transition. And the rest will be at the end. All right, Ari is ready. Ari, I feel like you're born ready. You've been like every darn week. I'm really proud of you. All right, getting ready to set up for your wide stance squat, starting in 3, 2, and 1. All right, slightly toed out, dropping your hips, and then squeeze your booty to come up. We're ripping the ground apart with our feet and keeping our core, keeping our abdominals nice and engaged. You're already more than halfway through this. Right out of this, we're going to set up into our narrow stance squat. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's step it narrow, toes forward, 3, 2, and work it. So these are going to breeze through really quickly. I think you'll be surprised at how fast this little less than 30 minutes goes by. Reaching the hips back, you should be feeling this one in the tops of your thighs. Like I said, it's okay if the knees go forward a little bit. Still trying to rip the ground apart with your feet. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down to the ground for push-up next. Pick up your hands and press. Down slow. Exhale as you press. Did bench press for the first time in like 3 months the other day. And boy howdy, my pecs are really sore. Try to make your chest be the first thing that touches the ground as you lower down versus your tummy. 4, 3, 2, 1. That scapular press is next. And squeeze the shoulder blades and then round. Squeeze and round. This is the lower ridge of the shoulder blades, not the top of them up by your shoulders. So if you're getting a ton of movement out of this, you might be using your upper traps up by your shoulders instead. So I invite you to try and find that space in between the lower ridge of your scapula. We're coming up for the kick next. Let's bring it up. 3, 2, 1. And whatever side you're starting on, spot where you're kicking. It'll help with your stability. Keep your belly nice and tight. You got this. Halfway through this 30 seconds, keep your toes pointed towards the front of the room and try to punch with your heel, but without hyperextending the knee. So we're extending the leg all the way, but not hyperextending. Good. Let's switch sides in 3, 2, 1, and other side. If you find you're having a hard time keeping everything lined up, then just slow it down. And pay attention to the quality of the movement. I'm not great on this side, so next time I'm going to start on this side. 3, 2, 1. We got PPP, so set up your plank. 3, 2, 1. Height, press, back to plank. Lift your hips, driving your hands to the ground. You got this. This is your money maker for shoulders. There's one part of your shoulders. And we are pulling the shoulder joint through lots of different angles here, so it's getting lots of good stabilizing opportunity. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Plyometric calves are next. And we got those twinkle toes. My heels are never really hitting the ground fully here. I'm absorbing the shock of my landing on the balls of my feet. And then the goal is to immediately go into your next rep. It's normal to start to slow down as they get tired. 2, 1. All right. Bicep curl. Turn so you can see remaining here. I'm sitting up tall, like I'm a marionette puppet. The puppeteer is pulling on the string. And exhale. You got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and switch sides. 3, 2, and exercise 10. Good. Exhale. Inhale. Brace your belly. Open up your chest. If you find that arm is starting to pull your chest close, just pull your shoulders back. So let me keep this work in the biceps. 3, 2, 1. Triceps are next. You're going to get 1 minute of rest. Plank on the wall, high on your toes, elbows tight. As you drop your forearms down to the wall. The tighter you keep your elbows here, the more you'll concentrate this work in the triceps. If your elbows are flaring out wide here, just bring them in so they form these nice tight angles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 60 seconds of rest. So take some water, maybe dry your forehead, whatever you need, pet your cat. At the end of our recovery period, we're gonna come back into the wide stance squat. So back to the beginning. You're doing wonderful. We've got about 20 minutes of work left. That includes the rest though. So it's actually less than 20 minutes of work time left. So I hope everyone enjoyed a little bit of a break last week. I know that I really did. Sometimes we have to acknowledge when we need to pull back a little bit and give ourselves some time to recover, recuperate, and have some quiet time. It's very tempting to just go, 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 go all the time. I know that I'm guilty of it. You got 5 seconds, so start to set yourself up, wide stance, and 30 seconds work. Once you hit the bottom, squeeze your butt really hard. You're trying to crack a walnut with your cheeks. Rip the ground apart with your feet. Exhale. Find that bracing sensation in your abdominals. We've got 5 seconds left here. 3, 2, 1. Step it up to narrow stance. Turn your toes forward. And 30 seconds work. Still ripping the ground apart with my feet, even though they're closer together. So notice the difference in sensation between a wide stance squat versus a narrow stance squat. You're doing awesome. Exhale. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down to the ground for your push-up. Lift your hands and press. Lift, exhale to press. So make sure you're keeping your tailbone tucked, regardless of what variation you're doing. We're keeping everything engaged here. Abdominals are working during this push-up. It's not just our chest. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Scapular press is next. So whether you're here, I'll do this right here this time. So I'm squeezing my shoulder blades and then up. Really honest about what's doing the work here. It's like I'm pressing my sternum down towards the ground without bending my elbows. Working that muscle group called the rhomboids connects your shoulder blade to your spine. Its job is to pull the shoulder blades in. Good. We're coming up for our kicks next. Starting on my backside first. Got my exhale. Good. Keeping my foot flexed. I'm punching with my heel, the bone of my heel. Switching sides. 5 seconds of transition time and go. Exercise 6. Good. Find your exhale. Maybe it's not in the same place mine is. It's okay. Find that space where the inner arch of your grounded foot is not collapsing, but neither is the outside arch. We're staying evenly distributed in the foot. All right, coming back down to the mat again for PPP. High plank, hike, press, plank, hike, press. Beautiful work. Feel your abdominals working. So I guess we're doing an ab class next week then, since I forgot to incorporate when I was transferring my wrist. Missed your ab work. Good. All right, plyometric calves, or I'll do this variation this time. Okay. It's a dynamic lifting. Even though I'm not jumping, I'm thinking about generating force, trying to work those fast twitch muscle fibers in my calves. It's okay if you start in one variation, you go to another. Maybe the jumping gets too intense or you can't sustain it anymore. So you come to these so you can stay in some movement. Beautiful work. We've got bicep curls next. Exercise 9. And rolling it up in my tight hips. So we get a twofer here. And with this movement, you really have to focus on the bicep and focus on getting that squeeze in the bicep. So play around with it. You can't be passive about this one. You have to really set your intention on the front of your arm and bring your concentration and your breath to that muscle. And switch to the other side. 3, 2, 1. And exhale. Exercise 10. Good. Elbow stays in tight. Sit up tall. And if you press your foot into your hand, as your hand is trying to pull your foot up, you're going to get a lot more work out of this. You don't necessarily have to pull your leg higher. Maybe you have a really small range of motion here in your hip, so you can just press actively into your hand. Awesome. Back up, wall for your triceps. Eyes on the toes and tight elbows. Seems to be the theme of the night. Tight elbows. Step further away from the wall. If it feels too hard. Step closer to the wall. If you feel like you want to try it on the ground, maybe you've got much stronger arms than I do. But go ahead and bring this movement to the ground. 3, 2, 1. And it's rest time. You're halfway through, y'all. You're doing fantastic. How's everyone feeling? Hopefully awake, warm. Take your water. If anything comes up for you, please don't hesitate to holler at me. I'm here for you. We have less than 14 minutes of work time left. This is going by nice and fast. I forgot my towel. It's warm in Los Angeles today. I'm repping my Erica Nix shirt. If you're looking for other fitness queers to follow, I highly, highly recommend Erica. She's based out of Austin, Texas. Good, nice. I love it when you're sweaty. We've got 10 more seconds and we're coming back to the wide stance squat. So I know I'm like dripping here and I've been right under a fan. Set up your wide stance, slightly toed out, focusing on the booty for this half minute here. Squeezing it actively. Good work. Pressing the ground apart with your feet. Less than 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step it to narrow. Toes forward. And work it. Rip the ground apart. Doing good. Tight, tight bellies here. I'm really sad that I forgot your core work because I had some really fun stuff. That is okay, I'll carry it over. 10 seconds here. We have tight ankles that might be preventing you from going deeper, so just pay attention to what feels tight. And down to the mat for your push-up. 3, 2, 1. Step your hands and press. Lean forward. Let your chest touch the ground first. Practice coming down slow. Really finding that space where you're feeling this in your pecs. Some nice big muscles in your chest, not in your shoulders. Synergist for this would be your triceps. So your triceps are going to be getting warmed. All right, scapular press. So whether it's a plank, hands and knees, wall, couch, wherever you're working these. Just taking one at a time. Focus on being even in the shoulders. These are great for stabilizing your shoulders, getting those muscles that help you keep your chest open and proud, nice and strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Kicks are next. Start on your less strong side. Exercise well. So not only am I not quite as strong on this side, my neuromuscular control on this side is not as proficient as my other side. So sometimes it's not necessarily just that you're not as strong. Your brain just might not be as efficient at communicating with your non-dominant side as it is with your dominant side. So switch sides. That's why I like to work that non-dominant side first, because then my brain gets more space to learn how to communicate with it and set up those neural pathways. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that goes into exercise science. If you ever want to nerd out with me about any of this stuff, holler. 3, 2, 1. Back down to the ground for PPP. 2, 1. Height. And press. plank. Really nail your pike. Here, drive your hands into the ground. Keep your hips high as you work through the range of motion on the press. And exhale. Plank. Pike. 3, 2, 1. All right. Plyometric calves. Exercise. So I know it's a lot of movements, but they go fast. So right when it starts to feel like you can't handle it anymore in a movement, it's time to move on to a different one. Good. Got about 10 seconds left in this one. You got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down to the ground for biceps. All right. Exercise 9. Press your foot into your hand as your hand fights it. So as it's coming down, your foot's pressing hard, but your hand, your arm is fighting it pressing down, forcing it to go slow. So it's not just gravity holding it down. Switch sides. 3, 2, 1. So tall. Press it into your hand as your hand pulls. So even though your arm is lowering down, your hand is still pulling on your foot as the arm extends. And 15 seconds left. You're almost there. You got 8 more minutes left in this workout. Y'all are rock stars. 2, 1, and back up. Rope go down. Tricep press on the wall. Exercise. High on your toes, tight elbows. Tuck your tailbone. Brace your belly. Backs of the arms should get warm. Got this. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, 60 seconds of recovery time. Enjoy it. If you need to stretch anything, stretch it while we're in this. Maybe you need some wrist relief from being on our hands so much. These go fast. We got a good heart rate up for the whole time we've been working. I'm just below my cardio zone. <sighs> 30 seconds left. Hope that everyone's week is getting off to a good start. It's a interesting time for sure. Everything's changing constantly. I know for me, just when I start to get used to something and adjust to a new groove, something changes. We got 5 seconds, so let's start to set ourselves up for wide stance squat. This is our last round, so let's make this one even stronger than the first one. Last one, best one. That's what I learned from John Holt at On It Academy. Squeeze your butt. Make each rep your best rep. Observe how this set feels compared to the first one. Now that everything's warm and loose, 2, 1, set it up for narrow stance squat. See if maybe this one's going deeper than you were in your first set of these narrow stance squats. Maybe it feels a little bit easier. It feels really good sometimes when we get to these last ones and we think, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? But then we just build on the foundation that we laid in the first few sets so that we can finish even stronger than we began. Down to the ground for your last set of push-ups. 3, 2, 1. Exercise. Press, and then chest touches the ground first. Forgot to lift my hands. That hand lift is subtle, but important. It sets your shoulder blades where we want them so that we're pressing fresh each time with our shoulder blades pulled together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Scapular press. 3, 2, 1. So that we play exercise for whatever positioning you're working from. Good. Bottom ridge. And separator. Looking good, y'all. You got this. Keep your ears lined up with your shoulders. Don't let the head sinking down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, kicks are next. Start on your less strong side, your less proficient side. Got it. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and other side. And go ahead and work it. Remember to spot your kick. "20 seconds left. It's a lot easier to get range of motion in warm hips than cool ones. So sometimes this last set can be even stronger. Remember your heel. Beautiful work. Back down to the plank. PP. Exercise 7. Hike. I love these shoulder presses, these body weight shoulder presses. So even if you don't have access to equipment, you can always use your body and gravity or resistance. Resistance-based exercise is really, really important for the development of bone tissue. As the muscles pull on the bones and they contract, the bones lay down more material as well. All right, plyometric calves. Lost my spot there for a moment. So whichever variation feels good, or maybe you adjust the pace. I always like to focus on the quality of the movement. So if the quality starts to suffer, then just change your pace a little bit so that each rep is really solid and strong. 2, 1, down for your biceps. There's a minute and a half of work left. Press into your hand. Control it on the way down. Any feedback on this one? I'd love to hear it. Since we're not physically in class, I can't see you, so I can't come over and give you cues based on what I see and switch sides. So if you feel like you want any feedback on any of this and work that other side, then you can always feel free to record yourself doing this stuff. You can send it to me on social media or via email. I'm happy to look at it and give you some feedback and some pointers. Good. Staying nice and tall in your seat. It's tempting to allow the weight of the leg to drag your whole chest down and forward. Resist that urge. All right, last time with the triceps. Tie on the toes. Push yourself on this one. Maybe step a little bit deeper and see if you can handle more resistance. Maybe you'll surprise yourself. Remember those tight elbows, shoulders pressing down away from your ears. And exhale. And all the way down. Exhale. Good. Enough time for one more. And rest. Beautiful work. Woo, y'all. You smashed that one. We got a few minutes left to use for our cool down, our decompression. Stop for a moment and have some water. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the mat a little bit closer. So we can get a little more intimate here. Those of you that are in Los Angeles, if you feel comfortable, you don't have a compromised immune system, everybody is open, limited hours. Let's start with a seal here. So you're gonna point your fingers back towards your knees. If you can't get in that position to the side, it's fine too. We're just gonna gently rock back. So I believe it's 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. close in the middle for cleaning. Have to wear a mask, but this is my third day back being in here. Feeling pretty good about it. Everyone's different. Go ahead and draw circles with your sternum. So we're hitting on different angles on our wrists. We did spend a lot of time in planky positions in this class and other way. Good. Let's bring feet together and knees wide. Turn your hands around. Let your hips back to your heels. Arms are extended here. And tuck your chin. Protract the shoulders, so round the shoulder blades. And then pull the shoulders together. Shoulders down away from the ears and up. And so this is essentially cat and cow, but just with the upper part of the body. We're stretching out the rhomboids. All that scapular presses and push-ups. Good. And then slide your arms out. Press your sternum down towards the mat. Stretching out our chest. Hold it for about 5 more seconds. Nice deep breaths. And we're going to come into the hip flexor. You can get some extra padding for your knee if you need it. Half kneel. We're going to press forward into the front of our hip here. I'm decapitated, but you don't need to see my head for this one. Make sure I'm not dipping into the low back here. So if you find that you're really rounding in there, just lean your chest forward a little bit so we stay a little more neutral in the spine. Squeeze that butt cheek and drive your shin down into the ground. And switch sides. Other knee comes down, step it forward, and press forward, square hips, square chest, driving your shin down into the ground. And let's take one hip stretch. All of these workouts are archived on the YouTube, so if you go to the YouTube channel and go to the past workouts playlist, you can pull up in this workout or any of the past ones from the past few months, and you can watch them. You can pick out exercises you like and build your own workout, or you can follow along. Make sure that if you haven't subscribed, that you subscribe and you turn on the notifications. You'll be notified when a class happens, when it's coming up, when I set up the feed. So working on getting more content up, but I'm not tech savvy. All right, let's switch sides here. Drive your heel towards your booty. The closer your heel and your butt are to each other, the deeper it's going to be. Keep your foot flexed and shoulders back and down. And just breathe into that hip. Think about all of that nice oxygen going down into that tight tissue and feeding it, helping it release. Good. And so much, everyone, for being here, whether you're here live or you're watching this at a later time. We will be here next Monday in this room. And as always, free. If you'd like to tip, you can tip via Venmo. Appreciate you, Ari. So happy to see you again. All tips this month are going to Black Lives Matter Los Angeles. And we'll likely continue that donation throughout the summer, if not forever. Anyway, I'm happy to have all of you here and grateful for you and the space that we get to have together. And I look forward to us being able to be together in person sometime in the future, maybe next year. But we'll see you next week. Take good care of yourselves, drink lots of water, rest when you need to rest, and scream when you need to scream. All right, y'all. Peace out.